In news from Jamaica, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the island must once again become a dominant force in regional and international trade. Mr. Holness says the country has to reposition its focus and become more assertive in promoting its goods and services in traditional as well as new and emerging markets. The Prime Minister made his case in Gordon House on Tuesday as he briefed the House on the outcome of his participation in the 7th Summit of the Association of Caribbean States held in Havana, Cuba on June 4. Mr. Holness noted that the summit provided an opportunity for world leaders to engage in bilateral talks. He told Parliament that he had frank discussions with Costa Rica's President Luis Guillermo Solis, Cuban President Raul Castro, and Prime Minister of the Netherlands Mark Rutte and Dr. Keith Rowley of Trinidad and Tobago. During his bilateral discussions with President Solis of Costa Rica, Mr. Holness said the discourse centered on boosting trade relations in agriculture and tourism.
In a meeting with the President of Costa Rica, President Luis Guillermo Solis, we discussed approaches to increase trade relations and technical cooperation between our countries in a number of areas, including medical supplies and technology, agriculture, security, and tourism. We resolved to fully utilize the existing CARICOM-Costa Rica Free Trade Agreement of 2004 and the Jamaica-Costa Rica General Agreement on Economic, Technical, and Commercial Cooperation, which was signed in 1992.
Mr. Holness said Costa Rica has invited Jamaica to participate in an upcoming trade exhibition. Holness disclosed that the expo can create an environment for Jamaican manufacturers to tap into the Costa Rican market.
President Solis invited Jamaicans to participate in their trade exhibition, which is to be held in Costa Rica in September 2016, in order that Jamaica can identify possible ways of increasing trades in goods and a variety of manufactured products in an effort to address our negative trade balance with Costa Rica. Mr. Speaker, this is a signal to Jamaican business people to start exploring opportunities between Jamaica and Costa Rica.
Meanwhile, Mr. Holness noted that in his bilateral talks with the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, Mark Rutte, he expressed his disappointment that the Dutch embassy on the island has been closed. In the meantime, from his exchange with Cuban leader Raul Castro, Mr. Holness reported that the two Caribbean partners pledged to foster improved ties in culture, education, climate change, tourism, and disaster preparedness. Mr. Holness said he reiterated Jamaica's support for the renewal of diplomatic relations between Cuba and the United States. The commitment was also made between the two leaders to forge greater partnerships in language training.
The commitment was also made to explore possibilities for the provision of increased language training on both sides, with the provision of English language training to assist Cuba as they prepare to receive greater inflows of visitors from the United States. And this, Mr. Speaker, was a very serious commitment, because the truth is that Cuba will need to rapidly make English their official second language, and Jamaica will rapidly need to make Spanish our official second language. I expressed my disappointment that the Dutch government had closed their embassy here and that the ambassador from Cuba services Jamaica, and I expressed the wish to host the Netherlands embassy here again. I also, Mr. Speaker, sought to, and as the member pointed out, we discussed football as well. And, Mr. Speaker, we explored the possibility of assistance in the acquisition of equipment for our Coast Guard. I think, Mr. Speaker, that the meeting with the Netherlands Prime Minister was very fruitful, and I hope to report to Parliament on the outcome as we continue our discussion.